Hi everyone. Today we're going to be going over the guaranteed profit quote form, which is what you can see in front of you. It's the final benefit that our Elevate Profit clients get access to, and it really helps them kind of implement all the work that we're doing in the background. So our analysts are going through a ton of data in the background and doing a lot of work analyzing every single transaction that comes into your bank account or into clients' bank accounts. And boiling all that information down into 7 numbers that really helps our clients run their business and make effective decisions. So this guaranteed profit quote form, it goes one step further and it kind of gives them a tool that they can use to implement these findings and implement this analysis in a really kind of easy, functional way. We promised a really hands-off, really stress-free solution to your kind of financial analysis needs and any kind of financial help that you're currently kind of struggling with. And this does exactly that with no extra kind of work from yourself. It kind of delivers a tool that you can use that really helps you implement what our analysts are finding out for you. It's a tool that kind of helps you guarantee a profit on every single project that you do. So we're going to quickly go through how it all works, what exactly it does, where it pulls all the information and the data from, and just exactly how it might benefit you kind of in the very, very short term. So what you see in front of you is the guaranteed profit quote form itself. It's got a ton of numbers that just says 0 at the moment. That's because there's no information in it. You can see here we've got the 7 numbers that our analysts kind of boil down for you that kind of help you make smart business decisions with very little effort. So you can see here we've got the materials pot, we've got the VAT pot, we've got the profit pot, expenses, wages, owner's pay, and personal tax pot. In the background, this is linked to another sheet that our kind of analysts work from, and the other sheet is where they're kind of doing all that work for you in the background. So let's kind of flick over to that one and let that load up for a second. So this first page here is where you can see those 7 numbers that the analysts are kind of providing with you in a bit more detail. So you can see the amount in the pots is kind of tracked over time. There's your materials, your VAT, your profit pot, your tax pot, owner's pay, expenses, and wages. So you can see this is kind of the direct result of the analysis that's happening in the background. Every single transaction is tracked, and this is what you end up with. You end up with these pots with the relevant numbers in them that are really going to help you make the decisions that you need to make to keep your company growing and keep your company healthy. So let's have a look over at another tab. This tab here is the tab that our kind of analysts do the most of the work with. So every single transaction that comes into your company through any of your banks, whether that's just a standard bank account or whether that's a credit card, whatever it might be, everything gets pulled through into this sheet, and this is where our analysts do what they need to do with it, really. They go to work on this and they look at every transaction and they put it in the pots where it needs to be, and they manipulate that data as they need to, and it ultimately results in this. So this is our kind of review page. This is where you kind of, these percentages here that we've got highlighted, those are the results of all the analysis, and these are effectively acting as your margins. So our analysts go through all your data, all your financial data, they come up with these percentages based on that data that's coming in, and then these percentages here are then fed through back into that guaranteed profit quote. So all the percentages will link up with these 7 numbers here. So again, they're all at 0 at the minute, but that's where the data is coming from, that sheet in the background. So this top quote box here, this is the only box that our clients will effectively use. All you need to do here is you put the price that you quoted for that project in. So let's just say, for example, you've quoted a project up for £8,250. That's the price that you've kind of presented to your customer or your client. Hit enter, and what it then does, it then splits that amount down into those 7 numbers, those 7 budgets for that project that's upcoming. And what you can then do with these numbers, you can kind of use these to make plans and make sure your profit is going to kind of come in on budget. You've quoted up effectively, you've quoted up in a way that's actually going to work for you. So you've got your budgets here. For example, if we look at the materials budget, is that number going to be enough for you to purchase all the materials that you're going to need to complete that project? And all the way down here, your VAT, your profit, your expenses, is that expense budget, is that going to be enough for you to hire any tools, any plant that you need? Is it going to be enough to cover the fuel that you need for the project? Wages here, is that enough that you're going to be able to pay your staff their day rates to get that project completed in the right amount of time before you start, using up all that wage budget? And then underneath here, you've got the owner's pay budget, which is the money that you're going to be able to keep for yourself. Again, according to these margins that our analysts have worked out in the background on the other sheet, this is what is being produced as a result. So this is going to be unique to every company. So while these numbers may not look right for your company, these are, or the amounts and the percentages change based on a client-to-client basis. So these numbers will be exactly right for it's a fake client in this example. This is not a real company, but these are numbers that would be specifically correct for that client. So your numbers might end up looking a little bit different. There might be a little bit more in the owner's pay pot for you. There might be a little less in the wage budget for you. It's all completely dependent on you and your company and the way it operates and what our financial analysts are finding out in the background. So it's there for you to use. If you look at these numbers and they're not quite sitting right with you, they're not quite right. For example, you've got £2,698.58 there for your materials budget. If you know that's not quite enough, that's not going to be quite enough to cover it, it then gives you an opportunity to kind of massage those numbers and put in, what you think you're going to actually need to cover that. So let's up that to 9,250, for example. Everything will then go up accordingly to your margins, percentages that we talked about before. And then you can keep having to play around with those figures until you actually get something that you're happy with. So is your take home going to be enough? Is your wage budget enough to cover what it is? And all this profit for guaranteed profit quote form does for you is it just makes sure that you're operating within those profit margins that are appropriate for you and your company. So and that's about it, really. You just kind of play around with that until you get a figure that you're happy with. You put a figure that you feel is going to be competitive, but you've also got a figure that's going to allow you to spend money on the things that you need to get the project complete, but it's also going to help you and prevent you from going kind of over budget and spending too much on things that you don't need to. And actually, by the end of it, there's then nothing left in the profit pot or the pot for you to take for yourself. So this is kind of the major benefit that our clients get. And, we kind of fully recommend it to get your company instantly more profitable, to get it permanently operating as a profitable company. There's tons more information on our website, which is elevateprofit.co.uk. So make sure you check that out. It goes into a bit more detail about exactly kind of how we come to the decisions that we do, how we kind of come to the figures that we do for each individual client and each individual company. So if you were curious and you want to find out a little bit more, you can do that very, very easily by going to elevateprofit.co.uk. So make sure you check it out, and thanks for listening.